Well, if you guys remember the story that I broke about Starbucks and how they apparently banned all the Pride merchandise in their stores, I still haven't been able to verify that. Although I have had people tell me in my DMs on Instagram and Twitter that they went to their local Starbucks and they realized that all the Pride merchandise is completely gone. So take that for what it's worth. But why am I talking about Starbucks again? Well, I came across this very interesting article as I was searching for news to kind of talk about. And this one in particular, it got me because the headline, I thought the way the headline of the article stated, a Starbucks manager was awarded $25.6 million in a lawsuit over firing following the arrest of two black men. Now, this particular headline is not the one that was in Google. The Google headline said that this person won $25.6 million for racial discrimination. Now, why is this interesting? Well, it's interesting because when I clicked it, I fully expected it to be a story about a black Starbucks manager that won money, because that's usually what happens when it comes to racial discrimination. It's usually anybody but white. But this story is interesting because the manager that won money was actually a white woman. It's actually a white woman that won $25.6 million for racial discrimination over her firing for getting two black men arrested in the store. Yes, this is an absolutely hilarious story, and I want to get into it, guys. So, of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 25,000 subscribers. It says a jury on Monday awarded $25.6 million to a former Starbucks employee who sued the company, alleging she and other white employees were unfairly punished and that she was wrongfully fired after the high-profile 2018 arrest of two black men. New Jersey jurors ruled unanimously, which is that's even crazier to me, that it was actually a unanimous decision in the favor of the white woman. So that's pretty crazy. But it was unanimously in favor of Shannon Phillips, a former Starbucks regional manager, after a 6-day trial finding race was a determinative factor in her firing in violation of federal and state anti-discrimination laws. Phillips was awarded $600,000 in compensatory damages and $25 million in punitive damages Monday, according to counsel Matiasi Law, which represents Phillips. The law firm also said a judge would consider awarding $3 million for lost pay as well as an attorney's fees. Now, that is insane. This woman got off very, very well considering the actual situation. I highly doubt that she was making that level of money. Even as a regional manager, I highly doubt she was making multiple millions per year. So she got out very well, okay? $25 million in punitive damages, $600,000 otherwise, and $3 million potential for lost pay and attorney fees. That is absolutely insane. But I think the most shocking thing out of this entire story is that a white woman actually won a lawsuit against Starbucks. That is completely insane to me that she won this, considering that we all know what happens to people when they call the cops on black customers, right? I don't know the extent of what happened that caused two black men to get arrested, but anytime you call the cops on black customers, chances are you're probably going to get in trouble for it, okay? That's a big no-no for woke corporate culture, especially Starbucks. And I don't care that Starbucks is removing their Pride merchandise now. I don't care. That company is one of the most massively woke companies in existence till this day, and they will remain so long as they operate the way they operate. Don't let their public persona right now fool you into thinking they are not a super woke company. So again, it doesn't shock me that a white woman got fired for calling the cops and getting two black men arrested. It doesn't shock me in the slightest. It says, so they're going to give some context over what actually happened. It says in 2018, a manager at Philadelphia's Starbucks location called police on two black men who were sitting in the store without ordering anything. The men were later released without charges. Phillips, who was a regional manager of operations in Philadelphia at the time of the incident, was not involved with the arrest. Videos of men's arrests sparked national outcry and widespread protests. In the lawsuit filed in 2019, Phillips claimed Starbucks ordered her to put a white manager who also wasn't involved in the incident on administrative leave. She says she was fired less than a month later after objecting to the manager being placed on leave. According to the lawsuit, Starbucks ordered the manager to be placed on administrative leave because of an allegation that black managers were being paid less than white managers. But Phillips argued district managers had no input on employee salaries. The lawsuit alleged Starbucks was trying to punish white employees in an effort to convince the community that it had properly responded to the incident. And that's 100% true. I guarantee you that's the truth. They tried to do these PR spins for the public eye to make it seem like that they're doing something, right? It's kind of like when you make a complaint at a company and they're like, the employee was dealt with, the employee was handled, there was a conversation that was had, but they never exactly tell you what happens. It's the same exact thing, right? So they were going to put this woman on administrative leave and they weren't going to do anything else after the fact and hope really that everything kind of blows over. That's essentially what these companies do, right? It's the same thing Bud Light hoped was going to happen, and now they're $27 billion lost in value. But again, this is what happens with these corporations, and it's only a conversation because the customers were black, right? It's only a conversation because they were black. Had they got rid of 2 white customers who didn't buy anything, nobody would have had an uproar. Nobody would have cared. They wouldn't have been a single discussion at all in the public eye, in the media. Never once would it have been mentioned ever again. But because they were black customers, of course, it's going to be mentioned nonstop. It's going to be grifted on nonstop as expected. And it's really sad. It really, really is sad that this is where we are as a country. But at the end of the day, it's not really going to change, okay? Because the corporate culture that Starbucks has and other companies have, they foster this kind of environment. They foster this kind of response, right? So they kind of shoot themselves in the foot and they end up walking on eggshells because they're so scared of being canceled due to their ideology, and it just ends up always backfiring in the end. So I thought this was a pretty insane story. I thought it was pretty ironic, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.